Hello. Hello. How are you doing? I hope you're doing fine. I'm doing good. I'm going to work. I hope you saw the eclipse yesterday. Actually, we saw it really good. And it's an amazing world wonder to watch. But I was talking to my sister yesterday, and she said that the time was different because she was gonna be, if we got it around 1 to 2, you guys must have gotten it when it was on the night. So most of you did not experience it, but we did. I do remember the last time that I saw the eclipse. I can't even remember if I was in class 4 or I was in class 7. One of the two, I can't even remember. But maybe if I counted the hours back, because I know it comes every leap year, then I would remember. But I don't remember, guys. So once again, this is Charity Nganga. This is Charity's Bubble USA. And welcome. Have you subscribed to my YouTube channel? I'm just a little bit to 13,000 subscribers. And we do also have another channel that is in vernacular that's doing really well. And please support us. It's called Koimenya America. We have two. This is Charity's Bubble, and then we have that one. That one was for the people who do not understand English very well, because they're there. I get a lot of feedback, guys. I do get a lot of feedback, and that's why we decided to open up that channel. That is why we decided to open up that channel. So today I had a long day, guys, because I normally get a lot of help from my husband. But today I had to go get my kids from school, and that's twice, because I have to go at 11 and I have to go at 3. I have to feed them. So I was sleeping and then waking up. I slept around morning because he dropped them off in the morning. So I slept from 8 to 10:30, and then I got up, and then I went and got Gigi. I had to go to the store to buy some stuff, and then from there I came, I fed the baby, and then I went back to bed for like an hour because I had to do something in the computer. So that took like a whole hour. And then at 3 I went and got Olivia, and then I came and slept for 1 hour from 4 to 5, and then I had to wake up, eat my dinner, take a shower, and then get ready for work. So that has been my day. It's been a long day, but I decided I'm gonna do a video. I haven't done a video in like a few days. So let's talk about the 24 days to go to the DV lottery. I think it's 24 days. If checked my calendar very well, it's 24 days, and there's a lot of anticipation. Which is expected, especially if you filled out your DV lottery. You expect something. But I normally like to put it in a way that even if you are selected, even if you are not selected, let's start with not being selected. Let's start with the bad news first, and then the good news later. So if you're not selected for the DV lottery, what next? Because this thing is played the whole world. And I'm not here to discourage you. I'm here to tell you the truth. The whole world, a lot of people apply for the DV lottery every year. And it's only 55,000 visas or green cards that are given, or less. Sometimes they can be all the way up to 55,000 if there is a higher number, and at the same time it can be less, depending on the how many people applied. But last year when the DV lottery was applied, more than 3 million Kenyans applied for the DV lottery. So that means that I was surprised. I was like, oh my gosh, everybody wants to come to America, which is good. It's a good opportunity, guys. Like, coming to live in the USA is I would say it's a very good opportunity for life improvement, a very good opportunity, and that means that you're very lucky. You are, that's a lottery. Winning a lottery is not for everybody. I wouldn't say that winning a lottery is for everybody. No. So if one time I was talking to my husband, and he was telling me, I'm gonna take you to a casino. I was like, why? Because if you won the DV lottery charity, I believe that you can do very well in a casino. But I don't like gambling, so maybe that's a story for another day. If we ever happen to go to a casino, I'll tell you how that goes. But winning a DV lottery is like that. It's when I talk about gambling, it's all about money. But a DV lottery, you don't use any money to apply or anything, but the stakes are always very high for the computer to randomly select your name, because it's not done manually. It's not that it's a person who goes there and starts selecting. Because if it was a person, and I coming to think about it, if it was a person who was selecting, maybe there could be a lot of bias, or maybe they don't want to pick this country, or they don't want to pick this country because of their own reasons. But now this is different, guys. It's the computer picks the names randomly. It picks the names randomly, and before it picks your name, the applicants have to go through a process, because remember, we were talking about the DV lottery photo. Now that one is very important, especially at these times. It's very, very, very important, because if you do not meet their qualifications, then most probably you're not gonna be on the final selection. You know what I mean? So, and why they always insist about that photo is because that thing is you apply it digitally, and the computer has a way of detecting, did you do it the right way, or did you do it the wrong way? Did you follow their So the first thing, if you know that you did your photo correctly and all that, of which I've talked about the DV lottery photo so many times, then you start a higher chance. Another thing is, if you applied, if you are a spouse and you applied and your wife applied, both of you applied and included your families, you have 2 chances of winning. But the question is right now, what if you were not selected for the DV lottery? What are you gonna do? Is your life gonna stop? No, it's not going to stop. Are you gonna be disappointed? Yes, you will be disappointed, very much disappointed, because everybody is looking for greener pastures. It's very human to think that the grass is greener on the other fence, which is good. But at the end of the day, some people will be selected and some people are not going to be selected. So myself, since I started talking about the DV lottery and I'm talking about this channel, is that do not lose hope, do not despair, do not let it change your life. It's okay to be sad, it's okay to be disappointed, that's normal, but do not let you are not being selected for the DV lottery change how you live your life, change your personality, make you so mad. No, just hope for another time. Hope for the other time that the DV lottery is going to be applied, and do the application. Look for other ways that you can come to the US. There are other ways you can come. You can apply to become a student. There are so many visas. You can even apply there are so many ways that you can apply. Although the DV lottery is the easiest way. It is the easiest way that you come to the US, and you are assured that you're going to get the right documentation, and you're assured that you're going to get a job. You're assured that you can rent your own house without anybody challenging you because you don't have papers. You are assured that your children will go to school. You are assured that they will get insurance. All that, all that comes into place, because you find that when you come to America, it's a different world, especially And that's why I like to talk about my experiences when I lived in Kenya and when I lived here, because it's very, very, very different. So guys, I'm here to tell you that if you're not selected, please do not despair, do not lose hope, do not be angry, do not, sadness is going to happen, but let it pass very, very, very fast. What if you're selected? Because you might check and you are selected, like we did. It's always very funny that I tell this story about how we were selected. Because in the first place, we never thought of coming to live in the US. That one was out of question. We didn't have any relatives. We didn't have anything. And I like to repeat that. And I normally tell you that if we were to be handpicked, if it was maybe a person who was picking the people who could win the Livy lottery, maybe we would not have been picked. I listened to a story about a very successful woman. She's from the West. She's an engineer, and she's very rich, and she's done very successfully here in the US. She has been very, very, very successful. But I do remember her telling her story, and she was saying that at one time she had a baby and she applied for a job. And she was well qualified, guys, very, very, very well qualified. And when she applied for a job, they called her. The job, they told her that she had gotten the position. No, they called her for an interview. So when they called her for an interview, at that time she was living at someone's basement, and she did have a baby. So she picked up the phone to answer. But her accents, there's something that you're going to note when you come here in the US, that everybody is going to ask you, you have an accent, where do you come from? But nowadays, it's like they kind of like to quote it. They don't want to tell you that you have an accent. They normally will ask you, where do you come from? Because they feel like you're speaking a different kind of, your speaking is going to be very, very different. Like if you come from Kenya, or if you come from the East Africa and your country was colonized by the British, your English is gonna lean into the British English. If your country was colonized by the French, your English is gonna be a little bit off from the British accent. So that's understandable. So when they called her, of course, she didn't speak like them. So she was denied that position, not because she was not qualified, just because she spoke in a different dialect. It was English, but it was different. She was denied that job. But eventually, after some time, when God wants to bless you, no matter how the hurdles that you're going to pass, you will still make it through. Because she, as she tells in her story, she eventually got to know another lady, and then they talked. And then she told them that she was qualified, and then that lady was kind enough, and they started a business. And then right now she runs her own businesses. Like, she is well successful and everything. So why am I giving you that story? I'm giving you that story because when you're selected, there are so many things that your life will change. That is, if you have money to process the Livy lottery, because it requires a lot of money for you to process it, especially if you have a family. Because like I normally say, that everything is individually. Now, depending on the people in your family, you start counting people as individuals. So if everybody is gonna use, maybe I'm gonna give it into the money that we use here. Maybe if someone is gonna use $1, you will count that $1 for each and every member of the family. So if you have 5 people, you are not gonna say that it's $1 to process the Livy lottery. You're gonna talk in terms of $5, because everybody will use the same exact, if not exact, closer amount of money until you land in the US. That includes the medicals, that includes the visa, that includes the application of the passport, that includes the air ticket, everything, it's individualized. So if you have saved enough, and you will be able to process it, then your life will change. It's gonna change, and you will need help. You will need and you will need to follow instructions. You'll need to be very keen on the instructions that they send you, because they have so many instructions and all of them have to be followed. You will have to keep the deadlines. You will have to book appointments. You will have to attend those appointments on time. Those are things that will come into play when you are processing your visa. So when you get to your case number, you're going to get it as soon as you are selected. And before I go there, I think I went ahead of what I wanted to say. I was saying when God wants to bless you, you will get it. So we didn't think that we could be selected. So I do remember we lost our confirmation number. That was the first thing. And I do remember me and Francis looking for that confirmation number. I had a little office where I used to work, and we looked for it everywhere and we couldn't find it. But there's always something, a breakthrough, because I do remember I went online. I had this little phone. It was a Motorola, but it was a smartphone. And I started checking. I started Googling. At that time, Google was not very popular, but I started looking online and saying, lost my confirmation number. What do I do? And I hadn't even thought about it. So eventually I saw the website, because I didn't even know that they had a website. And then they asked for my date of birth. They asked for, what else did they ask for? I think my date of birth and my email, yeah. And then we got back our confirmation number, because without that confirmation number, we would never have known if we had won our DV lottery. So that day, I remember my friend who had applied the DV lottery for us, because we didn't do it for ourselves. She came. She used to have a business right next to me. So she was like, Charity, you need to come and check. She used to call me Madam. She was like, Madam, you need to come and check. So I was like, okay, let's go. And she'd be, she had been following and, just telling me we need to go and check. So we went. When we went to her, she had a little cyber, and she had many computers, and there was this guy who was a pastor who used to frequent there. This place is called the Orpheum. People go there to watch movies, and I don't know what else they go to do there. I should visit there and see what they do there, because sometimes it's closed, sometimes it's open, and they advertise a lot of movies, and sometimes it's sparkling. So we went. There was this guy. He was a pastor. And then he just sat there. He used to have so many jokes. So he was like, I have never had anybody winning the DV lottery. What makes you think that you're going to win? I was like, you never know. You never know the ways of God. We might. I've always had a lot of faith. Even when something is impossible, even when I am going through hard times, I always have faith, and I always have... I always know that deep down in my heart that I am going to overcome something. I always have that. That's something that I really and highly believe in. So we did check. We had 2 entries, mine and Francis. So we started for my husband. And then he had not been selected. So that guy said, yeah, you see, I told you, I have never had someone being selected for the DV lottery. And then we did enter my name. And then that guy, I wasn't even understanding, because he was saying you have been selected to further process. So at that point, I did not think that we had won the DV lottery. But it hit me later. And then that guy was like, oh my gosh, your life has just changed. He didn't believe it. He was a pastor. He didn't believe it. But, I had that conviction. I never thought that we would win the DV lottery. But the way I answered that guy, I told him, you never know. Things change. So, and that's why I'm saying that you can win the DV lottery. It's very, very, very easy for you to win. But so much, winning the DV lottery is just the tip of the iceberg, guys. There is so much work to be done. There is so much money. There is also psychologically even preparing yourself, because you are going to leave, or you're going to leave behind what you know and venture into the unknown. When you go to if you read the Bible, think about the children of Israel. They lived in Egypt for so many years, and they had They had forgotten about their ancestors. They had forgotten about so many things, because in Egypt, if you read the history very well, if you read the Bible very well, you know that in Egypt they had these foreign gods, they had a different way of life, and you see the challenges that those people faced. You know, they even had, to an extent that even they disobeyed what God was trying to lead them to. Remember when Moses went to get the 10 Commandments, they even built a god, you know, a god made of gold for them to worship, because they thought, they despaired, and they thought that Moses had died. And even when they were reaching, they were almost to reach Canaan, they had doubts, you know. If you read the Bible very well, they don't know whether they are going to be able to overcome or to defeat these people who are like giants, you know. So that is the same thing. I try to visualize or to liken the immigration from any country to come to the US. Maybe if you come from Australia or if you come from Canada, it's not going to be so hard, because those are first world countries. But when you are coming from a third world country and you're coming to live here, it's gonna be different, guys. It's gonna be very, very different. So you have to prepare yourself psychologically, not even financially, psychologically, even to prepare how you're gonna bring up your children, because bringing up children here is a whole different story. It's a 360 turnaround. You know, you have to think about your religion. You know, like Africans, most of us, and even Muslims, we are. When you come from Africa, regardless of the religion that you have, you find that Africans, they have that connection that is very, very, very deep with the religion. And you find that if you come here and you are not careful, you're gonna lose that. Because this is a first world, guys. This is a world whereby you can work 7 days a week. You can go to work 7 days a week and forget about everything. Social life, you can forget about that. You can even forget about your friends, because it's a different way. So guys, there is so much to prepare when you are selected for that DP lottery. Not only financially, but even mentally. What are you going to find? The people that you're going to find there, some of them are going to be very good, very accommodating. Some of them are going to be horrible. You're going to get some experiences that you cannot even wish them, even on your enemy, you know. Very, very, very bad experiences. You're going to go to work. You're going to feel like you want to go back home, you know. You want to go back to Kenya, and, you know, there's so many things that will happen. But you have it in you to succeed. And that's why I like to talk about so much about the things that you're going to find here. Your children will also challenge you, because when they are taught independence at a very early age, very, very early age, even interacting with people here is going to be a little bit different. Because, you know, as Africans, we are used to shaking hands, we are used to hugging, we are used to all that. When you come here, you will find out that there is personal space, whereby there is that bubble that you're not supposed to step into unless you are invited. You're going to learn that before you give a hug, you have to ask, can I give you a hug? You don't just go hugging people just like that. No. You can't do that, because it might not be welcome. Even if someone is going through a very sad, you know, like the African way, if someone, let's assume death has happened, or something tragic has happened, we have that, there is that freedom, or there is that norm whereby you are welcome to hug people, you're welcome to shake hands, you're welcome to do so many things. But you find that here, even if someone is going through a very hard thing, you cannot even attempt to give them a hug unless you ask, can I give you a hug? You see what I mean? So those are some of the things that you have to get prepared for, because it's going to happen. And that is just an icing on the cake. There is so much that you need to learn. There is so much that you will know, you will have to know. And some of them you won't know until you experience them. Because my experience is going to be very different from another person's experience, guys. So this video is just to prepare you, whether you have not been selected or whether you have been selected, because it's gonna be two-way, guys. It's not, you know, you can't have it 50-50. You can't have it all. You will either be selected for that DV lottery or you will not be selected. But my prayer and my hope is that everybody who watches my channel has that chance of experiences. It's a life-changing experience, guys. It changes your life to come and live with the US, because you can either come and succeed or you can come and fail miserably. Those are two things. You can succeed, do very well, or you can fail and live in the streets, because those things happen. But if you keep it here, I am not perfect, but I try to live my life the godly way and in a virtuous way, and I try to bring up my children the best that I could. I try to take them to church. I try them to, make them familiar with God. I try to even to tell them how to be kind, because here in the US you would find a lot of kindness. Oh my gosh, you'll find, especially sometimes you'll go to work and you'll feel like by the time you're leaving work, the next person who is coming in is trying to put you under the bus, or they're just trying to dig a very deep hole for you to fall in. That's it's very normal. You get used to it, and you know how to adapt. So guys, all I can do is to wish you all the best. I like to wish you all the best, because that's the only thing that I can do. And if you're selected, please don't be shy. Come and share with us. That's a challenge that I always have, whereby people are selected, and when I reach out to them to do interviews, they do not want to. I'm like, what the heck? You have been selected. You have come to live in the US. You have nothing to lose for you to share your experiences. Don't hide it. I'm trying to clean my glasses here. Don't hide it. Share. Because your experience is different from mine. And then we can be able to educate. We can be able to give hope, It's a message of hope when you see that people have gone to the US and they have succeeded. And very soon, we are planning to go back to Kenya. We don't have a date yet, but we are planning to go. It's going to be after 10 years. May the 20th is going to be our 10th year in the US. And we feel like it's time we went to see our family members. We haven't seen them in a very long time. Sometimes we only see them through video calls, which is not enough. But we are pray for us. We are planning, and God willing, we are going to come to Kenya. We're going to look for if people are going to be accommodating to do some shows with us. That's something that we have planned for. And all I can do right now is to wish you all the best, guys. I am going to go to work at 6:37. I like to be early. And I'll see you in another video. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you, and God bless you.